What's up, Doc? Welcome to the Docs Get Money podcast. Are you a badass doctor killing it professionally and has bigger dreams than just clocking in and out of the hospital? Do you want to leave behind a legacy that is as lit as an HBCU homecoming? Want to know how other doctors are getting to the big bag? That's right, making 5, 6, and 7 figures without putting on the white coat? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you're in the right place. I'm your host, Kimberly, but you can call me Kim or KB. I went from being a burnt out and overwhelmed emergency physician to the founder and CEO of 2 six-figure non-clinical companies and beating burnout along the way. I'm also your business coach, here to help you make money moves to change the world. This podcast isn't just about making money, though. It's about leveling up your life, mindset, and bank account so you can build an empire that's as iconic as Beyonce. You ready? Let's get into it. Picture this. You're sprinting out of a building engulfed in flames. The very structure you once revered as a temple of healing now is nothing but a towering inferno of burnout and frustration. Behind you, the endless nights, the thankless shifts, and the corporate medicine structure controlling how you practice are all consumed by the blaze. Up ahead, you see nothing but freedom, clarity, purpose, income, and impact. That's where I come in. And from side hustler to CEO, my signature one-on-one business coaching program, you'll start your own fire by launching your first profitable coaching, consulting, or midterm rental business and make clinical cash in 90 days or less. That's right, 4 or 5 figures in 90 days or less. This is for the doctors who feel like every shift is a dumpster fire, unmanageable, or just out of control. Let me help you rise from the ashes, thriving, and with a business that brings you life instead of sucking it out of you. Ready? Slide into my DMs on Instagram at Dr. Kimberly B with the word out, and let's turn the burnout into the bag. What's up, Doc? Thanks for coming back to yet another episode of the Docs Get Money podcast. Today, I have a special treat for you. I am giving you the replay of my masterclass that I just had live, which is called How to Start a Six-Figure Side Hustle in 90 Days or Less Without Seeing Patients. This is my 4 steps in order for you to start a side hustle that actually makes you 6 figures and more if you keep going with it. This is been a wonderful masterclass to have. I'm sure you're going to learn so much from it, but you should definitely listen to this masterclass if you are feeling like it is now is the time in order for you to create a profitable side hustle without you having to walk into work. We are now coming to the end of 2024 and approaching 2025 when there is a lot of uncertainty in the world right now. And so many of us are feeling like we need to take our own economic power into our own hands. And of course, if you're an avid listener, you know that we talk about money all the time. We talk about economic empowerment, and I show you profitable ways that you can make money outside of the hospital, and through my guests, through my solo episodes. But this is an opportunity for you to take action for yourself and create your own 6-figure side hustle, like I said, in less than 90 days and start making money from it as well too. I'd also like to say that the doors of From Side Hustler to CEO, my signature business coaching program, are now open for you as well. You are going to be able to hear a little bit more about what happens inside of From Side Hustler to CEO. But more importantly, if you feel like you are ready to start your own coaching, consulting, or even midterm rental business before 2025 is upon us, I strongly encourage you to go to KimberlyBrownMD.com/CEO. Check out From Side Hustler to CEO, and also more specifically, book a call with me. I love to hear from you, and I love for you to share with me what you're thinking and how I could help you inside of From Side Hustler to CEO. I've helped so many other doctors create wealth outside of medicine without wearing the white coat. And I know that I can help you as well too. So without further ado, here is the replay of how to start a six-figure side hustle in 90 days or less without seeing patients. And again, I love to help you do that inside of From Side Hustle to CEO. Please go ahead, go to KimberlyBrownMD.com/CEO. And I hope to see you on a Zoom, a 20-minute Zoom where we can chat and get to know each other, and put a face with a name at the time. So enjoy this replay. And if you have any questions, hit me up. Slide into my DMs on Instagram, or like I said, slide over to KimberlyBrownMD.com, and I'd love to hear from you. Please enjoy. Welcome, 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 you guys. This is how to start a six-figure side hustle in 90 days or less without seeing patients. So many of you guys I already know, but I will introduce myself for anyone who does not know me. My name is Dr. Kimberly Brown. I'm an emergency physician by training myself, and I have so many of my EM family here. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm also a business coach. So tonight I'm going to be talking to you about how you can start your own six-figure side hustle in 90 days or less, of course, without seeing patients. This is really geared towards clinicians. So we'll talk a little bit more about who this masterclass is for specifically. But I'm speaking to you as doctors, service providers, coaches, consultants, anybody in the room that is looking to grow some money very quickly without having to see patients. This is definitely for you. A couple of housekeeping things. This is going to be an interactive masterclass. If you have never ever heard a presentation from me, I'm not about to sit here and lecture you. Okay, so I need you to participate with me. I'm going to be asking you questions. I'm going to be talking with you. Feel free that now that the chat is open, to interact with me in the chat. But more specifically, if you have questions that come up, I don't want to miss them in the chat. So please make sure that you put them in the Q&A box. That will make sure that I know that not to miss them. And we are going to get to a full question and answer session towards the end of the presentation as well, too. So I am going to get started. And of course, I've shared with you already that I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business coach, I'm an ER doctor by training as well too, but I'm also a podcaster. So if you listen to podcasts, I have a brand new podcast out this year. It's called the Docs Get Money podcast. It's specifically for doctors just like you who are looking for non-clinical ways to make money without, of course, putting on the white coat or seeing patients. We're in our second season, and I'm so excited. It's a mix of interviews with other doctors, other entrepreneurs, and as well some solo pod episodes where I teach you a little bit more about how to make money for yourself. So I am available on, or the podcast is available on Apple Podcasts. We're also on Spotify, Amazon, and we will be coming on YouTube very soon. That's what's coming up in 2025 as well too. But if you are a podcast listener, I would absolutely love to have you as a subscriber. So please, as you're getting yourself together tonight, go ahead and just pull out your phone and go ahead and hit the subscribe button. This is what the graphic looks like. Like I said, I'd absolutely love to have you as a listener. All right, so this session tonight is going to be for you. This is going to be all for you if you don't want to quit medicine just yet, but you kind of need to see some options that maybe you can or you can do. You're currently probably feeling underutilized in your clinical work or just creatively stifled. You've got maybe some certifications under your belt. Maybe you've been certified as a health coach, a lifestyle medicine, something else like that, but you haven't even considered or even started working with paid clients yet. You find that other doctor entrepreneurs just inspire you. You know that there's something that you want to create and you're not sure what that is just yet, but you know that other people inspire you. More specifically, the session is for you if you bet on yourself. This is going to be time where you can learn how to double down on what you want and what you need for yourself. If you're currently frustrated with your life and your clinical practice, the session is for you. This session is for you if you've never even started your own business before, or if you've been side hustling for years and ready to grow things into a main hustle as well too. This session is going to be for you, like I said, if you're just done with the toxic house of medicine and you just want to create something that actually truly heals and serves others in a deep and meaningful way. This is going to be for you if you want a proven roadmap to turn your knowledge into income without the overwhelm of just starting from scratch. If you're looking for a smart and proven pathway to build wealth without feeling like you're juggling too many things at once, again, tonight is definitely going to be for you. And lastly, we're going to go through a couple of other things. This session tonight is going to be for you if you're tired of trading time for money and you want a way to make your expertise work for you without grinding yourself into the ground. You crave financial freedom, but you don't want to sacrifice your passion for helping others in the process. And this session for you is going to be tonight if you're ready for more control over your career and your life, but you're not sure where to start or how to transition away from the bedside. So I'll trust that you are able to see and to notice the value in what I'll be talking about tonight. And you might want to go ahead and just have a pen and pad ready, or just maybe open up your notes app so you don't miss anything. Tonight, like I said, is going to be very actionable, very interactive. I plan on teaching you things that you can walk away with and start doing today. All right. So tonight's going to be unique and different, probably because not just because I'm having Zoom issues, but tonight is going to be unique and different for a couple of different things, reasons why. One, it's designed with you specifically in mind, doctor. So most business classes or webinars that I've attended is really not for physicians. They are for entrepreneurs and other business owners that do that 40 hours a week. They're just running their business. But this is really made for just you, understanding that we are all likely still practicing medicine in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And we want to do something on the side that we can grow until it's able to make enough money to be our main hustle. So this is how tonight's going to talk about how you can leverage your experience, your expertise, your skills into a side hustle that fits into your life without overwhelming you. It's also going to be practical knowledge. Some of it is going to be some mindset shifts that you may need to take. But like I said, most of this is going to be practical knowledge. And to be honest with you, even though mindset shifts are mindset shifts, it's also practical because you can actually do that and then you can apply them into your life. And also, today is going to be unique and different because this is not just practical stuff or just things I've just learned in a book or a textbook. I do not have an MBA. I have an MPH, but not an MBA. So these are things that I have learned and I have been able to see in practice, in action. And these are things that you can all do today. You can walk away today with the steps that I'm going to teach you and go ahead and start a side hustle. So like I said, I hope that you're going to find lots and lots of value about what you're going to learn today and actually take what you learn and apply it to your life so that you can start 2025 off with a bang in the green, I would say. All right. So the goal of our time together is to give you a simple formula to start and grow a six-figure side hustle without seeing patients. That's my goal tonight. I know that's a big ask, but we're going to do it. But of course, I only have just a few short minutes to get your attention or to keep your attention tonight. I do understand that you probably are on shift, just came off of work. And it is, like I said, Wednesday night, you guys have families, other things to attend to. So at the end of this presentation, I'm going to share with you how to go deeper and start to implement all the steps that I teach you. And so you can start making money in 90 days or less. But my only ask for you before we get started is that you take action. Okay. Don't let this be yet another masterclass that you sit in and say, wow, that was really, really good. I should do that. Yeah, I need you to take action tonight. So take action on the things that and the ideas that resonate with you. So I'm just curious, is anybody in the chat action takers? If you are, please, please, please drop the word action in the chat so I know that you guys are still here with me. Who's an action taker? There we go. Whoa, yes, you guys are blowing me away. I just see action, action, action. All right, cool. Amazing, amazing, amazing. All right, let's keep going. So tonight, I'm assuming that you are facing a few big challenges. So maybe this is your challenge, and this is what you're saying to yourself. I went into medicine to help people, but now it just feels like I'm going through the motions. Or maybe you feel like I've invested so much in becoming a doctor. Maybe it's a waste to walk away from it now. Or maybe you're feeling, I have ideas, Kim, but I absolutely don't know the first thing about turning them into the business. So here's what I feel like is going to be your big desires, what you actually really, really, really want. You want to create income from a side hustle that you can grow into your main money maker, but only on your terms. You want a clear and a proven path to making money on your own terms, of course, without walking into the hospital, which means not seeing any extra patients. And you may be thinking, a lot of us may be thinking, these election results are my last straw. Okay. I need to take my economic power into my own hands. Over the last couple of weeks, we've been all seeing so many different things, and you may be feeling like, you know what, the desire is now. Now is the time for me to actually do something for myself, for my wallet, for my family, for my pocketbook, for my bank account. If any of those things resonate with you, like I said, you're still in the right place. So let me share with you a little bit about my story, if I can. Late 2018, in my one bedroom, very small apartment in Memphis, Tennessee, I found myself crying on my bed, shedding deep, deep tears, and just stuck. I had heaviness in my chest. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. What I was supposed to be doing was filling out credentialing paperwork at my hospital for my neurocritical care fellowship. I had applied for and basically was asked to apply for and got accepted to a neurocritical care fellowship. And what I wanted to do is become a fellow board certified in emergency medicine and then do a critical care fellowship. But the thought of 2 more years, the closer and closer I got to finishing residency, which was just a month away, felt worse and worse. I was 33 years old. I had no clue on why I wanted to spend 2 more years in training and finally be done with my emergency medicine and ICU training at the age of 35. I was just kind of sick. I was ready to go make money, but I felt so much pressure on me, to be really, really honest with you. Um, I was one of the only, well, the only raisin in the oatmeal of my program, as you can see in these pictures. I was also the only Caribbean grad in my program, so I felt like there was a lot of pressure riding on me. My second year of residency, my mentors were asking me, of course, the natural question. So, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. The opportunity to apply to the fellowship, came right after I had my neurocritical care ICU rotation, and they loved me and they wanted to, have me as a fellow. And I thought, well, I mean, I love critical care, I love neurology, I love stroke patients, I love all of these things. I love intubations, procedures. Maybe that's what I should be doing. But like I said, the closer and closer I got to actually graduating from residency and then committing to yet another 2 years of training, I didn't want to do that. What I did want to do is still see patients, but more importantly, I was ready to go out and make some money. I have significant student loan debt because I went to a out of state graduate school. I got my MPH at the University of Florida. I went to Ross University School of Medicine, which is a pretty penny on student loans. And I did not want to continue to delay making money. I really didn't. I loved patients, I love critical care and love all that, but I wanted to practice medicine in a way that it wasn't going to be overwhelming to me. And I just saw myself spending long hours in the ICU, and I just really didn't want to do that anymore. More specifically, I felt like that was delaying my dream of actually becoming the person that I wanted to be. I never in my life, as much as I've always wanted to be a doctor, saw myself at that just being a doctor, if that makes any sense at all whatsoever to you. I mean, yes, I knew I could go to medical school and achieve my dream, but I really truly only saw myself practicing for about 10 years, maybe maximum. And then I was going to do something else. Now, what that something else was, definitely did not know. But at the same time, I didn't want to be the doctor that I saw my attendings be in their 60s and their 70s, still showing up for shifts, trying to intubate patients with their arthritic hands and having to have us come intubate the patient because they missed, even though they were the attending. That I didn't want to be my story. I wanted to just figure out what I wanted to do. And at this time, when I was in residency, I started to see other Black doctors doing like new and different things. Like I would scroll on Facebook, and because there was no Instagram just yet, or just Instagram wasn't what it was just yet. And they were starting their own businesses. They were branding themselves. They were going live on social media and introducing themselves as coaches, consultants, product owners, authors, just anything else except for just doctor so and so. And the more I saw other physicians doing that, the more attracted to that I was. I was like, this is really what I want. I want to be this type of doctor. I don't want to be just stuck seeing patients, wearing a white coat, doing all of these things, subjugated to just medicine. So that all took me to the moment that I told you about. I had accepted the fellowship, even though I really wasn't 100% about it. I was filling out about this much of credentialing papers. Everybody knows that it takes so much to get credentialed at a hospital. And I had so many emails and phone calls from the credentialing department like, hey, Dr. Brown, we really, really need you to complete these papers. But I couldn't do it. And the heaviness in my chest was like indescribable. Like it literally felt like an elephant was sitting on my chest. I was so depressed. I could not do this, but the only thing that I could think of was who I would be disappointing. I'd be disappointing the CMO of the hospital, who was a Black woman at the time, who was so proud of me. The fact that she knew my name was like incredible to me. I would be disappointing my program director, who picked me, the little brown girl from the only Caribbean grad, still to this day for my program. And I would be disappointing other CEOs. I would be disappointing other, just disappointing people. And I didn't want to be a quitter. Like I had never quit anything in my life before, but I could not get myself to finish the credentialing paperwork because I feel like my mind was screaming at me, Kim, you do not want to do this. You do not have to do this. So as I was laying there, I started to have a conversation with myself in my head. And I just was like, Kim, if you do this, the only true person that you're going to disappoint, if you decide to be disappointed, is yourself. And at the end of the day, this is your life. This is what you're going to do, and it's whatever. But I had absolutely no plan. And I think that's part of the reason why I was in such a battle. I didn't have anything else really lined up to do other than this fellowship. So if I quit 1 month before I started fellowship, what was I going to do? I genuinely didn't know, but I was also really tired of crying, being paralyzed in my bed, laying in the dark, like sobbing for hours and hours. I definitely wasn't being productive. So I made the difficult decision to pick up the phone, wipe my eyes, dial my future fellowship program director's number and quit. I just told him I cannot do this. And he seemed to understand in my limited explanation. And then it left me to figure out what the fuck am I going to do next. So I had no giant job lined up, and that was really about it. So I had just a few short months to figure out really, really fast what I was going to do. So the first thing that I did is I actually started my own LLC because I decided, well, the quickest way to get a job is locums. I had been getting tons of emails already asking me to do locums. And because I was a Caribbean grad, I wasn't able to be licensed in Tennessee, but I was able to be licensed in my home state of Wisconsin. So I had been getting tons and tons of requests for me to do clinical work in Wisconsin. I'm like, well, let me try to see if I can get one of those things. And so that's exactly what I did. I actually started doing locum straight out of residency until I was able to get a full-time position locally in Memphis. And in the meantime, I started side hustling. All those doctors that I saw doing amazing things, selling books and selling their products and going live, I started copying them. I started doing that. And I actually got a chance to fulfill some of my big, big dreams immediately after I finished residency. I was on House Hunters with my brother, which you can see me waving in the red jacket and me wearing the pink. The episode, if you're interested, is called um, Sister Doesn't Know Best in San Antonio, which is such a drag for me to have a title to kind of name like that I don't know best. But me and my brother filmed that show together in 2018, and that premiered in 2019. I also got a chance to be a part of Untold Stories of the ER, another huge dream of mine. I watched Untold Stories of the ER while I was in medical school at Ross University. TLC was one of the few channels that we could get on the island of Dominica. So Saturday night, that was my study break. I was going to watch Untold Stories of the ER. I was going to visualize myself as an emergency physician. And I usually got a lot of the cases right, probably because I was in the basic sciences, so I remembered a lot of different things. But I had a really, really good time. Um, the thing about that though is I was doing all of these side hustles and doing all these appearances because I saw other people doing it and I thought that would bring in tons of money. And I was doing all of this based on my persona of being Dr. Kimberly. It was fun. Don't get me wrong. I'm still like so blown away by the opportunities that I had, but it wasn't really getting me what I thought it was going to get, which is money. I got like what 400 bucks from doing Untold Stories in the ER. They did fly me out and put me up in a hotel, but I got only, like I said, a $400 honorarium, and it wasn't like I got a whole lot out of it. So I decided to do instead is to write some books. So I wrote my book. It's called It's an Emergency: Understanding the What, How, and Why of Your ER Visit, which is a love letter to patients. And I started selling that, but that didn't go so well. Probably sold maybe $200 worth of books from that. I actually partnered with a friend though, Dr. Nina Loom, and co-wrote the book Still MD, Two Physicians' Advice for International Medical Students and Graduates, which is still there. We launched and that made a little bit more money, but still it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It definitely wasn't producing the income that I thought it was going to produce. So that was like basically 2019, early 2020 is when Still MD launched. Literally, we launched it in January of 2020. And then, if I'm saying 2020, you should know that also brought your girl Corona. Coronavirus started spreading across the world and things started to shut down. And we all know, mostly as emergency physicians and all as clinicians in here, what we all experience. So during that time, it really didn't seem to be ethical to sell anything, especially not selling my medical expertise during a global pandemic, of course. If you remember who was in the administration at the time, I felt like that leadership did not, or that leadership absolutely did not take what we were going through seriously. And I felt as an emergency physician very vulnerable on the front lines. More specifically, I knew that my community, Memphis, my family back at home, Milwaukee, my church back at home, needed to have accurate, trustful information. It did not feel ethical, like I said, to actually sell medical knowledge to people. So I put down all of my hustles and I just focused on educating people and kind of going from there and going through the motions. However, I really started to get burnt out from just doing that, even just talking about, what we were going through in the hospital, and then also talking about it after you got off of work, just kind of seeing patients and doing that. It started to burn me out. And then on top of that, I work in Memphis or lived in Memphis at the time and worked in some of the rural places around Memphis. So that's like East Arkansas, the west side of Tennessee, and also northern Mississippi. And if you remember those areas during that time, and probably even still now, they didn't even really think that COVID was real. So I found myself being very much devalued when I got to work. At first, we were all healthcare heroes. Oh my God, thank you for going for work, clapping their hands, ringing their bells, all of those things. And then it came from you're stupid, you don't know what you're talking about. COVID's not real. I'm not taking that vaccine. Why would you let put that poison inside of you? And I really, again, started to feel devalued. At that time, I was like, okay, I feel like I did not go into emergency medicine to actually put my own life on the line. That was not what I meant to do. Um, so I was able to thankfully start picking up some telemedicine. And honestly, I made some great money at that time. But the downside to that is that it kept me chained to my laptop or my phone all day or all night making money. And I just felt like I was just working 24/7, whether it was in the ER or if it was after I got off of work and staying at home in my bed, but still chained to my phone or laptop, trying to see the next patient, trying to prescribe the next medicine. It just became a cycle of burnout. So I decided to start thinking about things a little differently and say, okay, how can I get myself out of practicing medicine full time? Because this is not working. I thought telemedicine was going to work. I thought that you know, writing books was going to work. I thought that being on TV and media appearances, even paid speaking engagements, was going to take me out of the ER. Nothing was going to work. So the last thing that I came up with at that time was, real estate investment. I just started thinking more about wealth building, even though I didn't own my own house at the time. Kind of real estate investing intimidated me, but I knew that I was living in a very prime market for real estate investing. And Memphis, if you know anything about it, is a huge renters town. So it's like, okay, well, I'm making really good money, at least with telemedicine, and I'm still making good money in the ED. Maybe if I can take some of this money and start investing in real estate, then I can get some cash flowing properties and then I can start to make money that way. And plus, all the millionaires and billionaires who are millionaires and billionaires have real estate somewhere in their portfolio. So if that's going to be me one day, I best better get some real estate under my belt. So at the time, a friend of mine had a significant other who was a real estate agent and an investor himself. And so he approached me with the idea of this property that he wanted to do, wanted to fix up. And I was like, okay, cool. So I decided to partner with him and invest in it. It was actually bought on a tax sale. So we got it on a tax sale and we invested in this property. And as you can see, it needed a lot of work. This place was in South Memphis. It was a three-bedroom house and it was absolutely pretty cute. We put a lot of hard work. I should say he put a lot of hard work into it. I put a lot of funds into it, which we'll get to in just a second. But more specifically, I had absolutely no clue what the fuck I was doing, y'all. Like I was kind of like living in imposter syndrome. I had read books from Bigger Pockets. I had listened to the Bigger Pockets podcast as well too. Spent a ton of time on YouTube University, which I know all of us still do. But when I was in the thick of it, like actually trying to get this off the ground, I was just really scared because at the bottom line, I didn't know what I was doing. And I trusted my partner, but the further we got along in this project, the more and more the money I spent and the less and less I saw of the ROI. So I became, again, scared and frustrated and didn't really know what to do next. I, again, started to feel like a failure. Um, I started to almost regret not going and doing the fellowship because at least I would be making money. I would be um, helping people, saving lives. But then, in a way, I was glad I didn't do the ICU fellowship because the ICUs, of course, were overrun with COVID patients, and they would bump other types of patients to put COVID patients in the ICU. And I was actually, like I said, torn. Like maybe I should have done this fellowship because at the end of the day, um, I might have like put myself in danger of getting COVID myself from a patient or from something else. I didn't want to be tied down to the hospital. So I still felt like a really, really, really big failure. I made a huge investment and I did not know what I was doing. Um, I just knew that I had a desire for wealth and I knew I had a desire to not have to practice medicine full time. But I had absolutely no idea how to get there. So one night, as I was working at my North Mississippi hospital, actually one morning, let me say, I got off because I was working the night shift and it was a very, very long shift. It was tons of patients in our small hospital's ICU. I had to intubate. I had to run upstairs from the ER to the ICU. I had to talk to patients' families. I think I pronounced somebody that night as well too from COVID and got cursed out from that's not COVID. You guys are just making that up. Do everything. They're maxed out on the ventilator. We tried to prone the person. Yeah, it's a lot. It was a lot of different things. So that morning when I got off of work, I dragged myself to my two-star Hampton Inn hotel and I peeled off my nasty scrubs, left them on the floor in the bathroom, and I flopped on the bed again and I cried. I cried. This is going to be a theme. I'm a bed crier, so if you guys could get that, the bed is my place of comfort and where I just have all of my nervous breakdowns. I was sick and tired of a lot of different things. I had been working a ton of shifts. I was driving from Memphis to the North Mississippi Hospital, and then the scheduler that I was working with at the time started screwing my shifts over where I would have to work one shift like 2 hours south of Memphis, and then the next night I'm working 2 hours north of Memphis on the night shift, and I didn't have any time to rest. I didn't have any time to take care of myself. And so as I was laying there, frustrated, crying, feeling stuck, yet again, I don't know what came over me, but I just started to dream. And I was like, damn, I wish there was a place where I could go instead of this whack ass hotel that it would make me feel like home. Like I missed my own bed, my own shower, my pajamas, my balcony, my view. I miss being able to like completely decompress and not have to, like I said, stay in this two-star hotel that was questionably cleaned to COVID, standards at the time. And I just wanted to have a place where I was able to heal and restore myself, if that makes any sense. Just to take care of me again so that I could get myself together and then go take care of other people. So I ended up falling asleep and going back to work the next night. And then I started having conversations with other nurses because it would just be us at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And we just be talking and we would talk about like how burnt out we were, how we were all tired of traveling ourselves, how
we were frustrated, how we all wanted to leave healthcare, but we didn't know what to do. None of us knew exactly what to do. At that time too, it seems like serendipity started to come into place. I started to get like ads on YouTube and also ads on Instagram that started talking about like how many people were making so much money off of Airbnb. And then I started hearing more and more about short-term rentals and mid-term rentals, and more specifically, how I could invest in them without owning any property. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe this will be a really cute idea. I just started to think, well, maybe I could just have my own little Airbnb where I could just have other doctors or other nurses come stay, and I would make it really cute, and it would be like home for them. Because if they were staying in Memphis, which most people have so many terrible thoughts about, they think of First 48, they think about danger, shooting, all of this other stuff, and the city's honestly not that way. But I was like, maybe that could be a way to do it, especially if I don't have to own any property. Like that could really work for me. I was still traumatized and I was still knee deep into the real estate investment that I was doing with the partner at the time. But I just wanted to do something different. But it just seemed like I don't know if that would work. And then I started to think, well, how do I do this without owning any property? Like that seemed like a scam to me. So that kind of held me off from doing anything in a while. But Memphis would be the perfect place. I knew this is the conversation I was having in my head. Like, Memphis is the perfect place. There's Methodist University where Steve Jobs got his transplant. There's Regional One and Elvis Presley Trauma Center, where tons of patients get referred to for burn, for trauma, all of those other things. And then, of course, you guys don't know, St. Jude is also located in Memphis as well. So there's a ton of other physicians and clinicians that come into the town all the time just to work in the hospitals, and they need places to stay. So I knew Memphis. I had been there for about 7 years now. So I knew where I was working, but like I said, I was a little skeptical. So that took me to the end of 2021, where once again I was kind of like doom scrolling in my car on Instagram, and I ended up following this girl that said something about Airbnb in her on her IG handle. I don't know what it was. So I followed her, and then she slid in my DMs, and she said, "Hey, and she offered me a course." Which was $297 to learn how to start my own Airbnb in 30 days or less. And so I'm like, okay, what is this here? I started to do a little bit of research, and I was like, okay, this actually might be legit. And then I'm like, $297. That's about how much money I make per hour, a little bit more. What if I just kind of looked at it as like, what if I just spent an hour's worth of time just investing in this course? Like, what do I really have to lose? So plus, as a black girl, I'm like, I'm gonna support you anyway, sis. This whole period. I'm gonna definitely support you. So I said, okay, let me go ahead and invest it. So I bought her course and I listened to it and seemed reasonable. She explained very clearly, actually, how you invest in these properties without having to own them. I was like, okay, maybe I could do this. Like, this may be legitimate. And so I let it marinate for a little while. I was like, okay, got busy doing other things, and I came back to it again. And I listened to it a couple of more times. And early 2022, I was like, you know what? I've listened to this course like 4 times. It's not even that long. What am I going to do, Kim? Are you going to just throw this away as just free knowledge or cheap knowledge that you got from the internet? Or are you just going to try it out? Like, what's the worst case scenario here? What do you really have to lose by just following her method and seeing if it actually works? So, I made a decision to just try what she said, just to see if it works. And within 2 weeks, I got my first property. So I want to welcome you to Modern Luxury in the Medical District. This was a 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom apartment that was just minutes away from all of the hospitals that I just told you about: Methodist, Regional One, St. Jude. I also forgot to say the VA. Um, I ended up partnering with an apartment complex that was owned by a husband and wife team. They were renovating the apartment complex, and they were from Detroit, but they had a family member who was a PEM doc. So they completely understood my vision of what I was trying to achieve. Again, furnished housing, furnished home like rentals for traveling medical professionals and travel nurses. And so they were more than happy to partner with me. It was in the perfect location, like I said, right in the heart of the medical district. And so it was a perfect place for anyone that was new to the area to be super close to where they were going to be working. And so I signed on the dotted line. I spent about $6,000, which was some of my telemedicine money, designing, furnishing, and even marketing my business, getting these pictures taken even. And then in less than 40 days, I got my very first guest and made about in total since she was there for about 3 months. I made about $9,000 from her and basically got a return on my investment. After the guest left, I kept going. I kept booking more and more travel nurses. I started partnering with some of the local hospitals. I ended up opening a second rental, and by the end of 2022 I made a total of $15,000. 2023, y'all, everything kind of just like went up from there. So Sherwood Properties is what I ended up starting, which was my midterm rental business. We provide furnished housing for traveling medical and business professionals. And you can see some of the other properties that I was able to furnish. And down in the left-hand corner, you see myself in the middle in the green, with two other beautiful Black women entrepreneurs, was my main cleaner, Kyra, and my in-person assistant at the time. And then who I didn't say, who also joined the team, was my assistant Cynthia, who is on this live right now on this webinar. She was working in the background, helping me to coordinate things in the end. But we grew and expanded, and all from just taking a chance, just taking a bet on myself. And by the end of last year, we made $142,505.23 while I was still working full time. And more importantly, I didn't feel burnt out at all. I felt like I was actually doing something, like I was actually helping other people, because it wasn't just travel nurses or locums doctors that I was helping. I helped place people that were out of their house for insurance purposes, and even patient families that were coming into town to be with a sick loved one, whether they were at Regional One or if they were at the Children's Hospital that were there. I just felt like, and I knew that I was making money both ethically and sustainably. And that's what took me, like I said, all through 2023 by starting this business. So that's a little bit of my story. Here's what I want to share with you, though. The reason why I'm telling you all of that is because I want you to know that starting a fire offer is the fastest way to making six figures without seeing patients. I'm going to go a little bit more in depth a little bit later about what a fire offer is, but let me tell you why this is so important. When you start a fire offer or a profitable side hustle, let's just say that for right now, that puts you in control of your income. You can determine how much you earn, you set your rates, you choose your clients, and you can scale at a pace that's right for you. You also don't need to reinvent the wheel or go back to school. You can use all of your skills, your knowledge, and more specifically, your experiences and your passions that you already have to transform them into a profitable business. This is also super scalable. Starting fire offers or starting profitable side hustles is very scalable. You may start with just one offer, but the potential for growth is absolutely limitless. You can automate things. You can increase your properties if you're investing in properties. You can do all of these things into other income streams without adding even more hours to your day. And more specifically, you're building an asset. This is something that over time it's going to hold and build value, and things that you're able to pass on to your own children, your family, and build a strong legacy. So, this is something I want you to hold in your mind. We're going to talk about fire offers a little more in just a few minutes, but let's go a little bit deeper into the content today. So, if you have a pen and a piece of paper, now's a good time to start taking notes because I'm going to walk you through a 4-step process on how you can start and grow a profitable side hustle in 90 days or less without seeing patients. Okay. And step number one is you need to make your time count. Since we are still working clinically, we have lives, we have goals. Our time is absolutely everything. Your time is everything. And so that's why you need to focus on being efficient and making money moves and not just wasting your time doing research on YouTube University like I do, or I did at the time, I would say. Your time is absolutely everything because once it's gone, it's gone. It's your absolute most valuable asset. As doctors, we have no time to waste. If we're not in the hospital, if we're not in the clinic, if we're not at the bedside, we are doing something with our friends, we're doing something with our families, we have other obligations that we need to take care of. So, time is our most valuable asset. So, we do not have it to waste at all. So, again, once it's gone, it's absolute gone. And once you waste time, you're also wasting your money. So, all the time you may be sending, thinking about, okay, well, what can I do? How can I make money? Let me research this. Let me listen to this podcast. Let me read this book. Let me go to this free masterclass. Let me do this or do that. All that time that you're spending in the research phase is actually time you could be spending making moves to actually generate money for yourself. So it's really, really important to make sure that we don't waste our own time. Of course, when we don't prioritize our time, we end up being busy and burned out and not productive and paid. We waste time and money. And basically, like I said, we don't make any extra money on the side. So I want you to think about this analogy. This is really why time is important as well, too. Um, Imagine kind of you're out to sea and you're trying to navigate your way to success. You could take two different approaches to that. You could take the rowboat approach, which is where you are kind of doing all of the busy work, you're researching and you're kind of staying in analysis paralysis and you're just trying to dis delay decision making. And you're just kind of just spinning in circles and think about it. You're just paddling hard and you're sweating. Homegirl here is not paddling hard and sweating, but this is the only gift that I could think of or I could find. So go with me on this one. But no matter how much you may be rowing, you don't get any closer to your destination. You're just spending your time, wasting your time doing just busy work. You're constantly moving, but you're not actually getting anywhere. Or you could take the lighthouse approach, where if you think about it, a lighthouse stands tall, it shines bright, and it guides ships to the shore. It's efficient, it's powerful, and it just does one single thing, which it just shows the way. And so that's what happens when you prioritize your time, when you get laser focused on your time and your energy. It's not, instead of scattering your efforts and scattering your focus and your energy, you just spend all of your time and energy on tasks, on responsibilities, and making decisions that get you closer to success, bringing money in the door, and actually getting you closer to your goals. I want to share a little case study with you. This is one of my clients, Dr. Dimitri Azuko. He's a family medicine physician and a certified business trainer. And he, out of anybody, should know, should be able to tell you how much busy work and making sure that you're focusing your time in on the right thing and managing your time appropriately is really, really important. He is also a certified fitness trainer and a fitness coach himself. And sales for him and his business and his side hustle were at a standstill, and he was struggling to sell his one-on-one coaching. And so he would spend absolutely, I don't even know, I think he told me like 8 hours a day. He would wake up and just send cold DMs to people on Instagram and get like no response. He's just like burning himself out. Um, but despite all of his marketing sales activities, like I said, he was burning himself out and he just did not see any results in his process. So when we started working together, I introduced him to Ignite, which is my 90-day process to make money fast with outside of the hospital. And it seems like once we got his time focused down and his activities redirected on actually what works for him, he was able to make 15K in 23 days. Now, this is the actual proof of when we started talking and then when he made the money. But let me show you this. Let's see. Hope you can hear my sound. Oh, in the business. Like, yeah. Like, so it's not too far after we talked to each other. Like, you signed a high ticket client, but I don't know how to find that client for.
So it's 5,000 a month.
A month?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and honestly, that was really thanks to you because I remember after he had the conversation with you, you told him to start marketing in YBAT. And we went on a walk and he was talking about how nervous he was about that. And I was like, that's actually a really genius idea because you're marketing to your peers and you know that your peers can afford what it is that you're offering. And so he set that ticket price and we were able to catch a big fish.
That was pretty much how I was able to survive without having to work medicine.
Yeah.
Till I only got my license functioning in April.
Yeah, that one client, like really.
So, as you guys can see, 15K, 23 days. My mind was clearly blown. I'm a crybaby. So as you can see, like my immediate reaction, I was so shocked. I was so amazed. And I was so happy because what he also shared with me is that he was kind of like at the back against a wall thing. He's originally from Nigeria, but immigrated to Canada and had been living in Canada since he was 18 years old. And so he was trying to go back to Canada after practice or after his residency in the United States, but he was waiting on all the paperwork. So that money that he was able to make actually lasted him and his partner for months. And they were able to live, they were able to do fun things with each other. And he was also able to serve clients for the very first time as well, too. So I'm so proud of Dimitri, but that all came from him directing his time, not wasting any of his time and doing not busy work, but more productive work. Which leads me to one of the tools that I use now with my clients in my program. It's called the Burnout Proof Playbook. And what it is actually a plug and play, step by step time management system. A lot of times we just feel like we don't have enough time. We cannot manage our time in order to make money. And so this is a proven playbook that you can use to plug and play in your own schedule to create at least 2 to 5 hours in your week that you are of your busy schedule already so that you can focus on those things to make money. So I hope that that makes sense for you. All right. So like I said, today's going to be interactive. Y'all don't keep me silent here. Just curious, on a scale of 1 to 10, how well have you managed your time management? Tell me, like I said, in the chat, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good is it? Okay, I got a 4, a 6, sixes and fours, fives. Okay, everybody's kind of like midway-ish. Okay, I got you. All right. Question for you. If you were to focus your time on the money-making moves that it took for your business or your side hustle, what could that give you? Just imagine that. Mary says freedom, breathing room, more time. Absolutely. Peace, relief. Absolutely. Rest. Absolutely. 100%. 100%. Okay, so last question. Can you commit to improving your time management? Everybody's kind of like meh, kind of like mid, as the new generation says, kind of mid. So can you focus on committing to improving your time management and focusing on money making moves? Type yes or no in the chat if you can or cannot. Okay, I see some yeses. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. All right, let's keep going. So, the second step of this process to starting a profitable six-figure side hustle without seeing patients is to pick a profitable problem to solve. Why is this important? All successful businesses solve specific and valuable problems for people. The key is to find one that resonates with you and with your audience. So, how we're going to do that is with the profitable problem formula, which is listed here. We are going to break it down step by step, but it is problem plus value plus your unique perspective equals a profitable problem. Okay. This is how we get rich. This is what we do. If we're going to start a side hustle, which really means that we're going to start a business, we actually need to solve a problem. That's all businesses do, and that's all side hustles do at the end of the day is solve problems for people. And why is this formula making it profitable? Because it's really clear. Broad generic solutions don't sell. Nobody wants to buy stuff that's for everybody. People want to buy things that are specifically for them. So, for example, let's just say you wanted to be a life coach, a general life coach for everybody. I would rather you say, I want to be a career coach for burnt out female doctors who want to pivot into consulting or something else like that. And that will work because it's clear and it's specific. Remember, broad, generic, and general solutions do not sell, but when you sell specific solutions for specific problems, that's what makes you money. Okay, so let's break it down again, step by step for each part of the formula. Step one, problem. Let's find a problem to solve. The fastest way to find a problem to solve is look at what's pissing you off. Frustrations are usually the best indicators for market gaps. So, what do you wish existed, but it just generally doesn't? At least not in your area, not for you. What problem are you sick of seeing? When you have a problem or when you're pissed off about something, that makes you very, very clear about the gaps and the inefficiencies that are maybe in the market. So therefore, you're going to be primed to create a solution for it. So maybe your idea will start with, I'm sick of this. Other people are too. So the fastest way to pick a problem is to look at, like I said, your own frustrations. Think about what has been frustrating you lately, whether it's your career, inside of your career, maybe it's in your personal life, or even in the healthcare industry as a whole. So, for example, you could say, I'm just tired of the lack of resources for new doctors who want to start their own private practices, right? Another way to pick a problem to solve is to ask other people. So to talk to other people in your community or in your niche and just see like what's your biggest challenge? Like what's going on with you? If and you can ask them like what if you could wave a magic wand and if you could fix one thing in your life, what would you be able to fix? That's another way to pinpoint a problem. And then you can validate that problem by seeing if anyone else is experiencing that problem. Now, you could do a little bit of Googling. You could do talking to maybe like 5 or so people doing some market research if you wanted to do that. But again, a problem that's shared by many is usually a gold mine. So that's how you pick your problem. That's the very first step of the formula. The second thing is the value. So when I say value, that only just means the transformation that your offer is going to deliver. It's going to help people to say, this is actually what I'm going to pay you for. So how to define that would be what outcome are you actually delivering? So think about the solution to the problem. So, for example, if we're talking about new doctors, talking about the lack of resources for new doctors who want to start their private practices, you could say, I'm going to give them step-by-step process on how to start their own private practice. Or maybe you can think about if you were working with moms, maybe you're an OBGYN or maybe you're a pediatrician. I'm going to help new and single moms navigate their postpartum period. Okay. Another way to define the value is value is to understand, why does this outcome even matter? That connects the dots between the result and its impact on your client's life or your person's life. So, for example, helping new moms, single moms, not only will they have a community, but they will feel like they're not alone, and they'll have a partner right by their side to help them navigate through the tough time of motherhood and postpartum, for example. And then the next thing you do to express the value is to make it tangible. So be very specific about the result that your client is going to experience. So, for example, you could say, by the time that we end up working together, by the end of the time we work together, you'll feel confident in yourself as a new mom and as a new parent, whether you're partnered or not. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. And then the last thing we're going to break down in the formula is your unique perspective, which is your secret sauce that no one else can copy because it's uniquely yours. And how you identify that is your lived experiences. What challenges have you overcome? What is your personality? What's your own style? How do you approach problems differently than other people? And then also your niche knowledge. Like, what do you know about this topic that others don't know? Like, for example, I'm a business coach. Of course, I know exactly how to help you to replace your income without working more hours or investing a ton of money up front. That's my own unique special knowledge that I bring to the table. But more importantly, it's very important to bring your unique perspective, because that's what's going to set you apart from everybody else on the market. That's what people are going to choose you for versus anyone else. So let me run that back one more time. The profitable problem formula is you take a problem, your outcome or the value, and your unique perspective to find a profitable problem. So I'll give another example. Let's take Sherwood Properties basically in general. So the problem is that traveling medical professionals needed a place to stay that was very close to the hospital and that felt like home for them. They were stuck with expensive housing or just kind of crappy hospital housing, to be honest with you. The value that I brought was midterm rental properties that were fully furnished, right close to work, owned by people, landlords just like me, and managed by doctors just like me that understood their unique needs of them being traveling medical professionals. That I know that they needed flexible lease terms and different other safety features to feel secure in where they were staying. And my unique perspective is like, hey, I'm one of you. Like, I am a locums doctor that has been traveling all over, doing all of these things, and I know what it's like to stay in pretty crappy places. So that's what my unique perspective was. The result was Sherwood Properties, and that was how I was able to generate, like I said, six figures in revenue. So the business solved a very specific problem for a very specific type of person with my unique spin on it, from also being a locums doctor that was burnt out from clinical practice myself. All right. So I want you to take a little bit of practice with me, and I don't want you to try to get it right. I want you to just give it a go with me. What is a problem that you care about sharing or care about solving, excuse me? Share with me in the chat. Like I said, don't, this isn't med school, y'all, so don't try to get it right. Just give me a problem that you definitely care about. Food security. Okay. I can probably tell some people what they know, what I'm sure that they care about, but I'll see if they'll put it in here. Maybe you stepped away. Okay. As you guys are dropping your problems in the chat, think about, what is the value of solving it? So what is the actual outcome that you're going to deliver to somebody? I see now Not enough time to spend with patients during visits. Absolutely. Post-match woes and long distance family. Yeah, that's tough. That's definitely tough, Jocelyn. I remember that. Why would it be valuable that you solve this problem? Divorce amongst female physicians, childcare for doctors who need to be at work really early. Absolutely. Connecting patients with outpatient resources in a timely manner. I love that. So tell me, what is your unique perspective or your unique experience that you bring to the table when it comes to your problem? Whether that is you almost got a divorce yourself, whether that you are a doctor that has childcare needs because you have to be at work at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning to go operate or be in the operating room or just start rounding on your patients. Yes, okay, you have your background experience in public health background, absolutely. So all of those things matter, and that is how you pick a profitable problem to solve. Okay. So once you found, I'm going to move on. Once you have found a profitable problem, the next thing you need to do is package that solution into a fire offer. Now, I told you guys I was going to go back to the fire offer idea. And let me tell you exactly what that means. Let me break it down for you. So, what is an offer? An offer is something that you sell. That's it. That's all that it means. And an offer can just be, like I said, the solution that you sell. That's a product. That could be a service, that could be a program, or even experience that solves a specific problem. And more specifically, because you're probably like, what the hell is a fire, Kim? Fire is what I call fast income so that you can retire early. Most of us have heard about the fire movement, financial independence, so you can retire early. I've taken a spin on that and say you need fast income so you can retire early. So let me tell you what makes an offer fire. An offer is fire when it's transformative, meaning that it actually solves a problem that it set out to achieve. It's scalable, meaning that you can just start small and grow it to maybe you're working one-on-one with people to maybe one to many. You can start with one property and grow to infinite amount of properties, all of those things. It's very simple to start as well too. You don't need a whole lot of tech. You don't need a whole lot of things and different moving parts to get it started. It leverages your current skills and experience. So you don't have to, excuse me, go back to school, getting an additional training or anything else like that. And more specifically, what makes it fire is that it doesn't cost any money or it costs a little bit of money to get started. And what happens when you become a fire starter? Well, you start a business or a side hustle that really serves you. You make money really, really fast and you gain control back of your schedule, and more specifically, that you are free. When I say a business that serves you, you can build something that just doesn't make you feel like you're drowning and overwhelmed. You're not reinventing the wheel. You just have to package what you already know in a valuable and profitable way. And so that's really what I'm talking about, a business that serves you as well too. It's not something that you have to go invest a ton of time into starting or doing anything like that. But more specifically, you are free. You're able to grow and you're able to have the time freedom to do what you want. So let me tell you the 3 side hustles that you can start a fire with within 90 days or less. Again, if you want to be taking notes, I would definitely take notes here as well too. There's only 3 side hustles that I consider fire, and that is coaching, consulting, and midterm rentals. And I've done all 3 of them. So let's talk about coaching. If you've never heard of coaching before, or if you've heard about it a lot and not sure exactly what it is, let me explain. Coaching is when you work with people to help them to achieve their goals. The word coach means forward action. It encourages people to do forward action to help them move forward towards a goal. So as a coach, you would create a structured but a flexible process that's adapted to clients' needs and help them to tailor their solution. So an example of a fire coaching offer may be a 6-month one-on-one coaching program to help physician moms manage their burnout. That's exactly what I'm talking about when I say a fire coaching offer. Consulting really works with organizations and other businesses and can be scaled to entire organizations. It's really ideal for like people that are super interested in operations, management, marketing, or kind of other business functions, I would say. An example of a fire consulting offer would be maybe a 1-year retainer with a small democratic emergency department group to help them improve their patient satisfaction scores and their throughput. There's tons of emergency physicians that are currently signed on as consultants with other groups to help them to manage things exactly like that. And of course, midterm rentals, which is a little bit different than short-term rentals and definitely not your traditional rentals. These are spaces that usually come fully furnished. They're available for about 3 months to sometimes even 9 months at a time for people that need to have a non-traditional lease. So think about traveling medical professionals like nurses, locums doctors, but also you want to think about kind of the newer things that are popping up on the market, like digital nomads, people undergoing home renovations if they've experienced like something like a flood or maybe a tornado has come through. A lot of the times, those people don't need a new home for a whole year. They just need it for just a few months until things can get repaired. So, an example of a fire midterm rental offer would be like I offer for Sherwood Properties, which is home like furnished apartments for traveling medical professionals that were experiencing burnout, more specifically. So I've already told you about my first fire, but I'm going to tell you about my second one. Sherwood Properties was where I really took off, but I loved what I was doing last year, and I loved the fact that I was able to start a business and run it and grow a team and do all of these things. And I was actually able to help people in a different way. I was only able to do that because I actually started working with a business coach myself. And I worked with her to start growing Sherwood Properties to my dream of making it a multi-million dollar business. And so yes, I started it from just a 297 course on from Instagram, saying I'm going to start an Airbnb business, but that's not where I saw my business ultimately going. It's called Sherwood Properties because it's named after my grandfather, Sherwood Brown, who what I found out was very much like me. He was an entrepreneur. He worked a 9 to 5 job and he had multiple businesses and invested in real estate. So I knew that this business being named after him, I wanted to truly honor his legacy. And I knew that I couldn't just do that off of Airbnb, if that made any sense. So I decided to start working with the business coach, and that's when things super exploded because I got the tools and the skills, and I was making the right moves to actually make sure where properties grow to the 6 figures that I showed you before. So what I decided to do is become a coach myself. I knew I had a passion for helping other doctors feel as free as I was feeling being an entrepreneur, and I started to have more conversations with us clinicians that were like, I want to do something else. I'm still burnt out from COVID. Things got better, of course. Clearly, we're better now. But we just started to shift and wanted to do something else. So I started my very first fire offer as a business coach. The problem is that I knew that doctors were burnt out and they wanted to leave medicine and they didn't know how to replace their income. I knew that I could teach them how to start and grow their own businesses as a coach, a consultant, or even midterm rental business owners myself and make money pretty quickly because I had made money pretty fast with Sherwood Properties, and I wanted to give them financial freedom and flexibility just like I had at the time. And my unique perspective is that I'd done it all myself. I was still working clinically in the emergency department, and I wanted to teach a straightforward, no bullshit method and how to actually get there. So I did it. I started to get a business coaching certification from my coach at the time. And before I was even halfway through that certification, I said, fuck it. I just felt so compelled, like, and that I wanted to start making money quickly and I wanted to start helping other doctors quickly. And on July 1st, I launched my very first fire offer as a coach. And within 6 hours of launching, I had a backlog of people that were inquiring about what I had to say and wanting to work with me. And within the first 3 weeks of launching my business coaching, I earned 24K as a coach and have now grown that business to 6 figures and beyond as well too. So that's my own experience of starting not one, but two fire offers as well too. Really quickly, want to talk to you about my client, Dr. Sharice Chambers. She's an OBGYN. You may know her on social medias at the Period Doctor on Instagram. She's now a social media and a visibility coach and founder of Reclamation RX. But she's built her platform, a successful professional brand on Instagram as the Period Doctor, and started growing her own successful speaking and consulting company, which helps her to live her life of her dreams. Yes, she's a board certified, let's say emergency physician, OBGYN, but she makes the vast majority of her money from her contracts, from her social media, and from her personal branding. And so many other doctors started to come to Sharice, wanting her help for years, she told me, growing their brands and growing their social media presence. But she herself wasn't sure how to package up what she had done to help other people. So another thing, kind of small monkey wrench in here, is that she is due actually next week with her very first child, and she wanted to start helping doctors before she delivered her sweet baby boy. Like I said, she's supposed to be induced next week. What I did is I helped her actually create her own fire offer, her very first coaching offer as a social media and a visibility coach using my program or my tools called the Fire Offer Combustion Kit. And she has created and launched Reclamation RX in 27 days. She got over 40 inquiries to her program, and she's had more than 9 sales calls. And she had a goal of only just making $50,000, maybe in the first full year. She has made $63,000 in 74 days before she's delivering her baby, all because she started a fire offer. And this is what she said to me. She said, every time we talk, it reinforces why the fire offer combustion kit was so necessary. It may have taken me 2 to 3 years to do everything that she did on my own, but it would be all of these barriers when you had all these plans already. It's always so helpful and so encouraging. So the fire offer combustion kit is the exact tool that I use, like I said, with my clients to help them to package up their fire offer and get everything that they need inside of it in order to start their business or start their side hustle quickly. And it's designed, like I said, to get you results in 90 days or less without overwhelming you. This kit is really where all the magic happens. It's the step-by-step roadmap for how you can take your expertise, take the profitable problem that you came up with, and actually turn it into a fire offer as a coach, consultant, or a midterm rental business. All right, so again, let's talk to me in the chat just a little bit. Are you a fire starter? Meaning, have you already started your own coaching side hustle, consulting side hustle? Maybe you have a midterm rental, you're up and running. Let me know yes or no in the chat. And if you're a yes, let me know what you're doing. I'm so curious. Because some people I know what you're doing, but a lot of you I don't. Lots of no's. Okay. Couple of no's. No. No. Okay. All right. Well, for those of you who are no, if you were to start a fire offer more specifically, what would that give you? And if you are a fire starter, tell me what that has already given you. Tell me about the money you've made. Tell me about the freedom you feel. Opportunity, less shifts. I know that's right. I see financial independence as well too. Absolutely. Okay. Can you commit to starting a fire offer of your own in the next 90 days? Let me know yes or no in the chat. Dr. Comey says time freedom. Absolutely. Dr. Comey is a relationship coach, and she absolutely has been able to have more time freedom. Absolutely. Yes. Reluctant, yes, someone says. Okay. I wonder why that's reluctant, but we can talk about that in just a few minutes. Okay. We're on our last and final step, which is solving problems with sales. So let's talk about the dirty word that nobody wants to say, no one wants to talk about, which is sales. Now, before you cringe, it's like, oh my God, Kim, I don't want to talk about sales. Let's reframe this right now. Okay. When we say sales, when I say sales, I am not talking about pushing things on people. I am simply speaking about showing people solutions to their problems and helping them to make a decision if this is the time for them to solve their problem. That's it. I'm not trying to get you to buy a used car. I'm not trying to scam you or sleaze you into doing anything. I'm not trying to alley-oop you into anything. But that's all that sales is offering a solution to people's problems and helping them to decide if this is the solution for them. I want you to really think about sales as a bridge. That's really what it is as well. Again, you can think about it as you're connecting a person with a problem to the solution, which is something that they definitely want. So imagine if you can imagine this, you're standing on one side of the canyon and you're holding like this brilliant solution to a problem, and you can't reach the ends of the other side where there is a person with the problem. The only way you can do that is to actually sell it to them, to talk to them about what your solution does, how it can help them, how can it improve their life, specifically answer any questions that they may have about it. And that is a bridge, that conversation, that offering, that converse, like I said, that conversation is really the bridge of how you get your solution to that person in that problem. That's what happens when you learn how to sell. If you don't do that, then your side hustle or your business isn't really even legit. It kind of just stays stuck in your head. And your business or side hustle is legit when you start making your very first dollar. The only thing that's the thing that's important about sales as well too is that you don't need any formal education to learn how to sell. You do not have to go to school. You don't have to get a certification to learn how to sell. You don't need anything but a proven system or in a process of how to do that. And before you say, oh, well, I'll just go get an MBA and the MBA will teach me how to sell. I've already done the research for you and I've talked to plenty of MD and MBAs. And they have said that they don't teach you sales in your MBA program. So if you're thinking that you're going to get an MBA and be like, oh, okay, I'll learn how to sell. That's when I'll learn business and then that's when I'll be able to start a profitable side hustle. No, it's not, you're not going to learn it from there either. You can learn sales by experience, by trial, by error, but it's so much easier when you are given and taught a proven process on how to make sales efficiently and consistently without feeling gross or sleazy or anything like that at all. I want you to meet one of my other clients, Dr. Biasha Jones. She is an emergency physician and she's the creator and founder of Be Out Loud, a life coaching program for historically marginalized high achievers and physicians. When I met her, she had just finished residency. She actually outlined a book about her struggles as being a Black woman emergency medicine resident and how she found her voice and her confidence as a physician. She knew that she wanted to help other minoritized people be confident and authentic themselves through her book, but more specifically, she wanted to help people immediately, like right now. The problem was is that she'd never been a life coach before. She had never started a business ever before, and she had never sold a single thing in her life, not even Girl Scout cookies. I think I asked her that. I was like, "Did you ever sell Girl Scout cookies?" She's like, "No, I never did that." So together, I taught her how to sell, and I used my tool called Sales Call Alchemy to help her. And as she started to learn how to sell and started having sales calls with people, offering them her solution with life coaching for people that felt like imposter syndrome or just like they did not have the confidence that they wanted. She has now created over $12,000 as a life coach and an entrepreneur, and she's currently working with her first dream clients. And she learned that by following a proven sales process, that she was able to start transforming people's lives today, right now, and be a successful entrepreneur as well, too. So, Sales Call Alchemy, like I said, is my special formula from trial, from error, from failing, from having a lot of weird, awkward sales calls, and finally cracking the code on how to do that. It is how to have sales conversations in a natural and empowering way where you offer the perfect solution for your clients. Sales Call Alchemy has helped to close over six figures of revenue in coaching and consulting businesses so far, for doctors who are making money outside of the hospital without seeing patients. And how we do that is really through a few different ways. With Sales Call Alchemy, it's really step-by-step guidance about how to get through each part of the sales process from the initial conversation to actually closing the client. It gives you a structure and not a script, so you don't feel like a weird robot. I was a bill collector way back in the day because I'm like the queen of side hustles. And I knew how awkward that it felt to kind of follow a script and try to ask people for money. So there's no scripting, but there's more of a structure on how to have these conversations. And it really focuses on connection. Again, I do not teach you how to have pushy, salesy, here you need this type of solutions. No, it's about how to ask the right questions, how to listen to people, how to communicate your value and solve people's problems through having sales conversations. So, all right, on a scale of 1 to 10, last little interaction, I think, for tonight. How well have you locked in your own sales process? Let me see. Let me pull up this chat here. 0. Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, I got a 3. If you were to learn sales, what would that give you? Like I said, Dr. Briasha made 12K. Sharis made $63,000. Dimitri has made over $15,000. What could that give you? Confidence and more money. Absolutely. Absolutely, it would. Absolutely, it would. All right. So tonight we took a rough draft. Took a stab at creating your own fire offer, and you committed, some of you reluctantly, to learning how to sell your fire offer. So I'm going to ask you again, now that you have kind of a rough pathway of how to sell, can you commit to learning how to sell your fire offer? Yes or no? Yes or no? Great. I'm glad to see some yeses. I'm glad to see some yeses. Okay. So that is my 4-step process on how you can create a six-figure side hustle in 90 days or less without seeing patients. And so let's go over it one more time. It's number one, you've got to make your time count. Time is so much more valuable than money. So you need to focus your limited time that I know that you have on money-making activities, like step number 2, picking a profitable problem to solve. I showed you the profitable problem formula, so you know how to create that. The step 3 is starting a fire offer. And we talked about the 3 ways that I believe that you can start a fire, which is coaching, consulting, midterm rentals. Those are the three ways that you can package your profitable problem into a solution. And then the last step is solve that problem with sales. Again, that's how you take your solution to your person and actually help them by offering them the solution. So I'm just curious tonight, as we are getting ready to wrap up in just a minute, what's been most valuable for you guys? We've covered a ton, but what has been most valuable for you tonight? Hmm. Hmm. I'm just reading the chat and just nodding at the same time and saying really loud. Brainstorming the problems into actionable items. I love that. The profitable formula. So glad that that helped you, Mary. Really, I do. I'm glad that that helped. Knowing there's hope. Absolutely. There 100% is hope. The testimonials. Okay, I'm glad that you were able to hear from people that are actually doing it ourselves, learning that you have skills and experiences that may be profitable outside of medicine. Thank you, Jara. Yes, absolutely you do. We are more than just doctors. We have so many different things that we can accomplish and help people with than just our medical degrees. Yes, it's great that we have gone to school for this long, but we have so much more to offer each other. So bringing it back to kind of where we talked at the beginning of this talk tonight is that you're probably facing a few big problems right now. You may have been feeling like, okay, I went into medicine to help people, but now it just feels like I'm going through the motions. I'm just showing up to work and I'm collecting a paycheck. You may be thinking, like it sounds like you were, Dr. Jar, I've invested so much in becoming a doctor. Maybe it's a waste to walk away from it now. Or do I even have anything else to offer? Like I don't know what else to offer. Maybe you've had ideas. You came tonight having some business ideas, but you just did not know the very first thing about turning it into the business. So I want to do an exercise with you if you can. If you, where you are, hopefully if you're not driving or doing anything, I'm going to ask you just to close your eyes for just a moment if you are able to. And I want you to imagine your future with me. So as you close your eyes, if you can, let's first imagine 3 days from now. You've logged off of the Zoom and you immediately started taking action on the steps that we discussed tonight. You started managing your time. You started even carving out like maybe a couple of hours every week that you're going to be able to working on your side hustle. You found a profitable problem and you started creating your own fire offer. You start feeling excited, energized even, and you finally feel like you have a plan that's going to work. You're not just stuck in survival mode. You actually have a clear path forward. Okay, still with your eyes closed if you can. Let's jump to 3 months from now. Your side hustle is up and running. You have closed your first few clients and you've made at least $5,000 in revenue, if not more. And you are finally feeling in control. You're no longer wondering whether or not you have to escape the grind of your clinical practice. You clearly see that you can. Maybe you even cut back on clinical hours, started saying no to the extra shifts and to the, hey, can you please come in and cover so and so? Yeah, you started saying no to that. And you're finally feeling the freedom that you've been craving this whole time. You feel more and more confident in your ability to sell, and you know exactly how you're going to grow this fire into 6 figures. And finally, let's go to about 12 months from now, so a year from today. And you are making serious money at this point without seeing patients, whether that's through your own coaching business, your consulting, maybe you started a midterm rental business, but you built something that allows you to choose when and where you're going to work. You stepped away from the things that once burnt you out, and you're waking up every day with a sense of freedom, excitement, and you're just like pumped about what's coming up next for you. You don't feel like you're surviving anymore, you're thriving, and your side hustle has truly become a main hustle in the best possible way. And more specifically, you've become the kind of person who calls the shots in your own life, and you're living a life that truly gives you joy and that lights you up. So I'd like you to open your eyes if you close them and just take a second to ask yourself, what type of person are you seeing in your future? How are they showing up every day? How does that person, that future version of you, make decisions? That version of you, the version that you and I just imagined together, I bet you they don't wait around for permission for anything. They take action. So my question to you is, are you committed to and being and acting as this person from this very moment forward? I'm sure you're going to say yes, but you're like, how, Kim? How am I going to do that? How am I going to be that person? So if you're committed to being that person, let me show you, or let me tell you this, you don't have to have any guesswork about how you're actually going to do that. I want to show you how you can reach your goals faster and easier ever than before. But before I do, I'm going to be really upfront with you. This is not going to be for everybody. This is not going to be for you if you're just a part of the get rich crew, if you think that you can lay back and sip a margarita and just money is going to fall into your bank account while you're laying out on the beach. You're going to have to put in some work. So if you are a part of the, okay, I just want to just let this passively come to me, it's not going to be this for you. If you like staying in your comfort zone, meaning if you don't want to try anything new, if you don't want to learn anything different, this isn't for you either. If you want everything done for you, this isn't going to be for you either. I'm going to be here to guide you, to cheer you on, to give you the tools, all of those things, but I'm not going to be here to build a side hustle for you. You're going to have to do some things yourself. And if you're the type of person that's like, I'll just do it later. If you got more excuses than you do execution, this isn't going to work for you either. So my clients make the time and they show up and they get things done, period, no matter what the excuse is. Like I said, Dr. Shars, busier than I think everybody's literally about to pop out a baby like next week, literally made time to do this for herself. However, this is going to be just for you, just like this box, just for me. If you are ambitious, if you're motivated, if you're not afraid of putting in the hard work, if you've got goals and you're ready to hit them fast. This is also going to be for you if you got talents and expertise that go beyond your medical degree. You know that, and you're ready to monetize them. And this is going to be for you if you want more than just money. You want freedom, you want fulfillment, and you want to create impact for not only yourself, but for other people. This is going to be for you if you're done playing small. So if you are already in a side hustle and you know that you're not charging as much as you should, or you're undervaluing yourself and you're sick of that, this is definitely going to be for you. And this is going to be for you if you're open-minded, coachable, and eager to learn new skills that's going to help you succeed for a lifetime to come, then this is for you. So the next step is from side hustler to CEO, which is my signature program to help you start your coaching, consulting, or midterm rental business and make your first or next 4 or 5 figures in 90 days or less. And the reason why I started this was I wanted a way out of the daily grind, and I knew what it felt like not to have all of the steps or not know what to do or how to actually put everything together. I know what it's like to actually do all of the side hustles and end up absolutely nowhere until I got frustrated and then there was no profit. And I wanted to be able to start a successful, profitable business in a side hustle that I didn't need to go have other certifications and other trainings for. And so that's why I created From Side Hustler to CEO, which will give you the skills, the mindset, and the strategy to grow a profitable consulting, coaching, and midterm rental business and start making money in 90 days or less. So let me tell you a little bit more about how that works. When you start from side hustle to CEO, we work together for 6 months, and the first 90 days is really ignite, which is my 5-step process for getting shmoney, non-clinically, in 90 days or less. And we work on 5 different steps, which is the oxygen, the fuel, the heat, the chain reaction, and finally the combustion, where we cover the mindset skills that you need. To build a solid foundation for your business with courage, vision, and drive, we create your fire offer when you turn your expertise into a profitable solution that sells. We price it. So that's how we attract committed people and reach our income goals with a lot less stress. We learn how to market. So we'll launch that fire offer and it gets it in front of the right people. And then you learn how to sell. I walk you personally through sales call alchemy so you understand how to have sales conversations. The second half of From Side Hustler to CEO is the next 90 days. And that's when we keep that fire burning. So burn comes next. The 3 steps that you need to keep your fire burning to 6 figures, and I should say beyond. And again, we are continuing to develop the mindset of a 6-figure entrepreneur. We are working on advanced sales and marketing skills where you create standout messaging that attracts people to you that are ready to work with you right now. And then the heat, which is the automations and the operations. So I understand that we all are busy clinicians and we're still working, but we need to put systems into place to keep things running when we are not actually physically there to do the work. And we do that using AI and simple automations. And as well, I help you to hire teammates like virtual assistants that can help you to keep your business going when you are still working or just doing other things in your life. As a bonus, I give you the burnout proof playbook, which will help you immediately to get yourself onto the off the ground with having your time managed appropriately. We create, like I said, 2 to at least 5 hours in your already busy schedule so you can focus on the things that you want to do in your own business and you can actually make the money moves that you need to make in order for you to start. So that is an exclusive bonus that you get inside of From Side Hustler to CEO. I don't even offer that to anybody else, not even as a side offer or anything like that, because I understand the value of starting with making sure that you have the time to invest and the energy to invest in your business as well. So what are some of our clients saying? So Dr. Shars, who is a rock star, of course, says that from Side Hustle to CEO has been the missing piece that I needed to take my business to the next level. Before, she was really struggling with the how to sell, how to create systems, how to create structure, how to maximize her relationships, her coaching relationships. From Side Hustle to CEO has guided her every step of the way. And now she's 90% full of her with her coaching cohort in just 60 days. I said about 72, but she's right, about 60 days. She has had the confidence, the creativity, and the results to do all of that. And it's more than what she ever imagined possible. And she says that From Side Hustle to CEO has been truly transformative. I did not introduce you to Dr. AP. She's a general surgery resident and she's the founder and CEO of Power Play Cosmetics. She has dreams of being a cosmetic surgeon, and she started her own cosmetics brand, Power Play Cosmetics, which is available now. So please go to her website and support her as a general surgery resident. And she said that before she joined From Side Hustler to CEO, she just was kind of winging it. Like she had her business, but she really didn't know how to develop it and make it a long-term thing and tangible. The first time that we ever had a call with each other, I gave her realistic, tangible advice to grow her business and to put herself out there. And within 24 hours, she was able to have 200 people migrating to her website. And she ended up even making passive income, meaning she started selling her products in her sleep after she started working with us From Side Hustler to CEO. So let me uncover a little bit more about what you get. Yes, you get the Ignite process. You get burned, but you get more specifically 6 months of both small group and one-on-one coaching as well too. So we get very specific and very intimate about what you want to create. And I help you to navigate your personal experiences and your problems and help you to grow your business or side hustle very in depth. We also get immediate access to our C-suite, which is our private mastermind community. You also get unlimited text and email support. So yes, you get calls with me and with the group. But at the same time, if you still need support on the outside, you can text me, you can email me, and I will help you every step of the way. Of course, you get the fire offer combustion kit, which I've shared before, sales call alchemy. What I didn't tell you about is marketing and messaging magic, which is my process on how to create magnetic marketing magnetic messaging that attracts clients to you as well too. You get the burnout proof business playbook, and then you also get sales and marketing ICU. So that is my formal process of how I help you to evaluate your sales calls, your marketing, and help you to even improve and go faster on what's working in your business. And so we can continue to do that. Or if things aren't working, we can tweak it and refine and fix it so you can start making money. Let's talk about everything we get, and we're going to talk about price as that as well too. So from side hustler to CEO for herself is for 6 months is $12,000. The burnout proof playbook is about $5,000 worth of value. The fire offer combustion kit alone is $3,000 worth of value. And sales call alchemy, how you have conversations with people on helping them to bridge your solution to their problem is worth over $10,000 in and of itself. The sales and marketing ICU, that evaluation, that high touch evaluation is worth at least $2,500. So the total value of everything that I'm sharing with you tonight is over $32,000. But tonight, I'm only charging you and I'm only asking for the investment of $12,000. And you can make that investment in three different ways. You can pay it one time if you're able to do so. You can pay it in a three-pay system, so bi-monthly, which will be $4,000, or you can do that as a monthly installment, which will be $2,000 per month. So you all told me tonight that you guys were action takers, which I'm so glad that you did. And tonight, the one action that I want you to do is to go to kimberlybrownmd.com/CEO and click book a call. That is not going to commit you to absolutely anything tonight. What it is going to commit you to is a 20-minute conversation with me. I'd love to get to know you a lot more intimately, a lot more personally. If you have questions about what you created tonight with the formula, or if you have questions about ideas that you've been wanting to start into a profitable business or side hustle and you're not sure what to do, let's talk about it. So that's a free 20-minute call for us to get to know each other, for me to get to know you more specifically and see if I can help you inside of From Side Hustler to CEO. We're going to get very clear on your goals, talk about what's going on with you personally, and just talk about more about what's potentially holding you back. And like I said, if From Side Hustler is from CEO is a good fit for you, then I will invite you to a separate conversation where we will talk about specifically how I can help you inside of my program and give you a personalized action plan of what we would do in our 6 months together. So again, Cynthia, if you could drop that in the chat, and I think that you have, thank you. Yes, to book like I said, a 20-minute call. And if you have any questions about what I've talked about tonight at all, I want to open the door for the chat right now, but I'm going to take some questions that I know that I always get and that you might be having in your brain right now. So the first question that I get is like, okay, Kim, sounds awesome. When do I need to make a decision by? I would like you to know that the doors from Side Hustle to CEO close this Sunday, November 24th at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. The doors will be reopened again. I'm not sure exactly when they're going to be reopened, but I'm not sure they're going to be reopened before the start of 2025. So if you are feeling like that this may be for you, I strongly encourage you to, like I said, to just book a call. Thank you, Cynthia, for dropping the link in the chat so people can just tap the link to schedule a call. And just see if this is for you. Like I said, I want to chat with you to see if there's if there's a way that I can help you. Some people ask me, do I need prior business experience? The answer is no, you definitely do not. Again, for Side Hustle to CEO was really designed for us doctors who we do not have any type of business training at all. We all went to medical school, or dental school or pharmacy school. We know that they don't teach us anything about making money, or anything like that. So you do not need an MBA, special certifications, or even a background in sales or selling anything ever before in order for you to be successful in this program. I want you to think about what I shared with Dr. Biasha, who had never sold a thing in her life and was still able to make over $12,000 as a brand new coach and a brand new entrepreneur as well too. But we will cover everything that you need in order to be a successful side hustler or a successful business owner. We'll teach you how to create your offer. We'll teach you how to market it. We'll teach you how to have sales conversations. And like I said, more specifically in a way that's not sleazy or gross or anything else like that. And I don't throw you into the deep end. Who you see right now on the webinar is who you're going to get as your business coach. I'm with you step by step, holding your hand, guiding you through the process, navigating through all of the ups and downs that you may feel. So you are not doing this alone. So no, you do not need any prior business experience. Sometimes people ask me if they need a specific like credit level to be a midterm rental owner or investor, and the answer is not really. If you do have good personal credit, that's always a plus, but that's definitely not required. How I teach you to acquire your midterm rentals is a combination of what's called rental arbitrage and corporate leasing. So this will be built under a business name, not your personal name, which also keeps you protected as a clinician, because you know people like to sue us for all different kinds of reasons. So it doesn't have to matter if you have, not the greatest personal credit or anything else like that. Um, but we do work on building business credit. I can teach you how to do that. And a lot of things that you will be obtaining and needing to purchase definitely can fall under building your business credit. Do you need to own a property in order to start a midterm rental side hustle? Again, no, that's definitely not how I did it. I never purchased any of the properties. I see a question in the chat that asked me, what was the profit split or percentage split with the owners? I'm assuming that you were talking about back when I was explaining what I did, how I got from Sherwood Properties off the ground. They didn't get anything. They got their rent that they were asking for, and that's all they got from me was the rent. You use a combination of, like I said, corporate leasing and rental arbitrage in order to acquire these properties with permission, of course. And let me explain a little bit about what that is. Corporate leasing involves partnering with landlords to lease their properties and then marketing them to other people. And then arbitrage is renting the properties from owners and then furnishing them and then subleasing them for profit. And of course, you would have permission to do that. If you do this in a traditional way or a non-traditional way, most people as individuals cannot go into an apartment complex and sublease their apartment. There are strict laws or clauses in the leases that say that you cannot sublease. And so when you do rental arbitrage as a corporate lease, it is explicitly known that this is the purpose of your business. And so you're able to sublease the apartment or the space that way. And the reason why arbitrage and corporate leasing works really, really well is because you don't have to invest a lot of money up front at all, because you're not buying a property. You're not waiting on long-term mortgages or leases with hefty down payments. You're not putting 20% down in order to get a property or using physician loans, which you may want to use for your own home in order to get property. And you can start your business like relatively quickly. Like you said, like you saw me say, I got my first property in just a few days. And so it moves a lot faster and it's a lot more of a cash flow process. So no, long story short, you do not need to own any property, but in From Side Hustle to CEO, I teach you how to identify the profitable markets, how to approach property owners and pitch the partnership between them, how to set up the apartment or the space, how to furnish it, and how to market your rental, and then all of the systems that you need to keep things going, I teach you how to do that too inside of From Side Hustler to CEO. So if you have questions or more about that, you've been really thinking about going into midterm rentals, please, like I said, just book a call with me and I'd love to talk to you more about your specific situation and we can talk more about how I can help you. Do I need a certification first before I start coaching? No. Long story short, the beautiful thing about coaching is that you do not need a certification. It's a pretty low, this is going to sound weird, low threshold industry to enter. You do not need a certification, but if you have one, that's great. Certifications will teach you different tools and techniques that you can use with your clients in order to help them. But that in and of itself is not a requirement to start coaching or consulting. Let's see, I see a question in the chat. Let's see. I think I did that. I think I answered live already. Done. Okay, cool. That was still popping up. What types of consulting can I do? We didn't get too much in depth of that, but there are so many different types of consulting that you can do. More specifically, you can do legal or expert witness consulting. That's definitely something that is a profitable thing to do, especially if you're an emergency physician and if you're already board certified and have some years of experience under your belt. You can work as on the defense of a patient or as a plaintiff's expert witness and lend your time and your medical expertise to patients that are suing different hospitals or suing different people in order for them to win, of course, too. So legal and expert witness consulting is actually really, really profitable. You could also be a public health consultant. So I know a few of you have a public health degree, and you can use your public health degree to work with other governmental or non-governmental entities to develop and implement public health initiatives and policies. A lot of us on this call tonight are emergency physicians, and there are lots of opportunities for ER physicians to consult in emergency departments as well too. So whether that's through patient satisfaction, through staffing models, through throughput, all of those different ways are things that you can do as a consultant, as an emergency physician. You can also think about bioethics, such as providing guidance on ethical issues in healthcare, such as patient consent, confidentiality, all of those things. So there are a broad range of things that you can do as a consultant. If you're thinking about any of those, or if you have more questions, like I said, drop them in the chat right now, drop them in the Q&A box, or like I said, more specifically, book a call with me. I'd love to talk to you more about your idea and how we could package that up into a profitable consulting side hustle for you. Same thing with coaching. I get like, what types of coaching can I do? Some of you on here are already all kinds of coaches, but just to list a few, you could be a relationship coach, whether that is with marriage, friendship, even parent-child relationships as you get older. You could be a parenting coach. You could be a money coach, with I believe a few of you are money coaches as well too. You could be a business coach like myself and teach sales or teach marketing, teach visibility, things like that as well too. You could do executive coaching, which is where you take leaders and help them to operate more efficiently in their roles as CEO, COO, CMO of their hospitals, things like that as well too. I have also have several friends that are career coaches that help people pivot and navigate their career as well too. Let's see, what else? You can also be a spiritual coach. So if you are very deep into your spirituality, if you are very deep into your faith and your practice, you can help other people overcome life problems through your unique experience with spirituality and things like that as well too. So there's so many different types of coaching that you can do. There's a broad range. If you're thinking about any of these, or if you're like, huh, Kim, you got my brain like really, really churning again, go ahead and book a call. You do not have to have it all figured out, but I'd rather chat with you to help guide you on how it could actually work and actually make it profitable for you. Here's another question that I've gotten very recently is, what if I already do have a certification? Will From Side Hustler to CEO work for me? And the answer is absolutely yes. I want to congratulate you if you have done the hard work of going to get a certification, whether that's in lifestyle medicine, or maybe you're a business coach yourself, or maybe you're a relationship coach already. You've put in a lot of work, so congratulations. But the one thing I think you already know is that just because you're certified in something doesn't necessarily mean that clients are beating down the door to work with you right now. What you need is the business around it, the marketing, the offer, the sales skills in order to connect with people and actually get your side hustle off the ground and start making money from your certification. So that's exactly what we do in From Side Hustle to CEO, is that we help you to create a very profitable high ticket offer. We help you to position yourself in the market, and we help you to sell to your clients, your first few clients, and make your first 4 or 5 figures or more even. What if I don't have a business idea? That's a good one. Hopefully, after tonight, you've been able to think about some ideas, but like I said, you don't need the absolute perfect idea to get started. You don't need a perfectly fleshed out or written out business plan in order to be successful in From Side Hustle to CEO. All you need is a profitable problem to solve and the willingness to go try and see if this is going to work for you. So we walked through how to find it, but when you book your call, I will go through the profitable problem for you with you individually. We can talk about that one-on-one on our call with each other, and we can actually create the problem, create the profitable problem for you to solve together. And like I said, from side hustle to CEO, I help you to build all of the other necessary systems that you need. So you don't have to have it all figured out like right now. I totally don't expect you to do that. But if you do know what you want to do, still, that's great as well too. I know that I can probably help you. So please go ahead and book your call. Like I said, KimberlyBrownMD.com/CEO. And I see Cynthia is dropping it in the chat. Thank you again, Cynthia. I really appreciate it. Do I have to have a certain personality type to sales coaching or consulting or midterm rentals? I get this question a lot too because people see me having master classes, going live on Instagram, or even listening to my podcast and like, oh my gosh, Kim is so outgoing. Kim is like an extrovert. I have to be like her. I have to be like this wild extrovert in order to be a successful entrepreneur. And I want to stop you right there on that as well. You do not have to be any certain type of way in order to be successful in business. You do not have to have a certain personality type. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you the truth. I am truly not the loud, outgoing extrovert that you think that I am. I am an INFP, if in my Myers-Briggs, if you know anything about that. I'm also an only child. And I would call myself more of an extroverted introvert than anything else. I know how to turn it on, but usually when you find me at home, I'm like in the bed, like listening to a podcast myself or reading a book. Like I am very much into myself. But like I said, you don't need to have a certain personality type in order for you to be successful in business. As a matter of fact, I would say the vast majority of my clients are introverts. And that's why they enjoy having one-on-one conversations with me as well, too. How we consistently show up, however, is that we are feeling compelled to serve other people, and that's what really drives us. So if you have an urge to serve people, an urge to help people, an urge to serve others in a more deeper way than just what you do as far as your clinical work, then that's the only personality type that you need. You just need to be yourself and show up as you, because people can feel when you are fake, and people can feel when you are trying really hard or trying to be a certain way that you think is going to be successful. So the best thing that you can do is not worry about if you're an extrovert or introvert, or if you're an INFP or you're an ENFJ. Like none of that matters. You just have to show up as yourself, and that will make you successful at whatever you decide to do. What if I'm too busy right now? I get that too. I know you're not sitting around with hours to spare, and that's why From Side Hustler CEO is meant to work very quickly. That's why we start with your time management first, because all you need is really 2 to 5 hours in your week and your already busy week to start making the moves that you need to make in order for you to start your business and start selling to your first client. So think about Dr. Shars again. I can't think about anybody else that's any busier than her, who decided mid to late in her second trimester that she was going to launch a coaching business before she delivered her baby. And she did that with little time on her hands. And now she's made over $63,000 with just that as well too, with her time that she currently has at her hand. So if you are quote too busy right now, I would challenge that and say if you are able to use the burnout proof business playbook to carve out the time, then I will give you the steps that you need to take and the actions you need to make in order for you to make that money quickly. So time should not be a barrier for you at all. I also get, is it too late for me to start a side hustle or is it too early? So that really comes from either people that are like still in residency or people that are like darn near about to retire. And I would say no, either way, it is not too early or too late to start. Now is the time to start. If you think you're too young or if you're too early into your medical career, I like I said, I disagree. All you really need is the willingness to use what you currently know in order to help to solve a problem for someone else. I think about Dr. AP. Like I said, she's a general surgery resident who started her own business and is now making passive income from Power Play Cosmetics right now. I also think about one of my other clients that I did not get a chance to introduce you to, which is Ariana. She's a now second year pediatrics attending, and she's dealt with chronic disease her whole life. Like I said, she's a pediatrician. And so now she has created her own program called The Chronic, where she helps other children and families who were recently diagnosed with a chronic illness navigate that as a chronic illness coach as well too. So these are two people that are very young in their career, brand new attending, still in residency, and they're able to create profit without walking into the hospital. And if you feel like you're too old, that's actually not true. You have one of the best things under your belt, which is experience. That's something that nobody can take away from you. And so I think about immediately my client, Dr. Jade, who's a Fiskite just like me. She has over 20 years of experience as an OBGYN, and she also got certified not too long ago as a parental leave coach. So what she does is help couples to navigate their parental leave so they can be at home with their baby and really navigate going back to work in a healthy place and help them to be happy parents as well too. So she's created her own program. It's called Regal Wellness, that both helps the parental leave portion, but also focuses on her expertise of postpartum and navigating so many different patients experiencing postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety. And she's been able to create, like I said, a very profitable business from just using her experience and the certification that she got. And it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't mean that she's too old. Like she's been practicing for over 20 years and now she's created her own business based on her years of experience of helping and serving other patients. And now it's also her clients as well too. The last question I'm going to get, and I think I've got one more in the chat, is what if I'm not creative? And I'm rolling my eyes a little bit because let me ask you something if I can. I'm going to ask a question back. If you think you're not creative, let me ask you this. Have you ever solved a problem at work, like a really tricky problem that nobody else could figure out? Like you couldn't find something and you had to kind of like MacGyver a situation? Or have you ever had to explain something very complex to a patient and make it crystal clear for them so they understood what was going on? Or even if you've had like your schedule, like you've had to like fit an appointment into your schedule and you didn't know how it was going to go. If you answer yes to any of those things, then guess what? You are creative. When when you think of creativity, it's not about necessarily being an artist or being super innovative or coming up with $1 billion app idea or anything like that. Creativity is literally about how you see the world and how you solve problems as you, yourself, individually, and how you approach challenges. And so I always like to say, yes, we are creative. You are creative by nature because you were made in the creator's image. And so if you are made in the creator's image, that means by default, you are a creator. So all of these things are already inside of you. You can generate ideas, you can generate solutions, you can do all of these things because you are innately creative. I don't like when doctors say, well, I'm not creative, I'm not good at this. Yes, you are. The problem is that we've been brainwashed to think that we're not creative. We've been brainwashed to just follow algorithms in our brains and just if this, then that. And we think that that's all that we can do. But if you're not creative, I challenge that. And even if you still feel like that you're not, guess what? I can still help you inside of From Side Hustle to CEO. And that would be us really working on your mindset about how you see yourself and how you perceive yourself as a individual and as a person. Let's see. All right. Let me stop share. I've got one more question, I think, in the chat. Let's see. I think that's it. Awesome. You guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight on this webinar. It has been incredible. I super appreciate all of your time, all of your energy that you were able to give to me tonight. I appreciate the participation and your patience. Well, Zoom was giving me the drama, y'all. But more specifically, I would love to help you inside of From Side Hustler to CEO. The doors of From Side Hustle to CEO open are open until, like I said, Sunday at 11:59 p.m. I would love to hear from you, and I would love to talk to you more about what you are wanting to create and what you want to start and what you want to grow. So if I can be of service to you, or even if you like, if there's a question that you're not comfortable with asking right now in the chat, I ask that you go ahead and book your call with me at KimberlyBrownMD.com. Like I said, it's a free call. It's only 20 minutes. And what we'll do is we'll talk and we'll see what's going on with you personally and figure out if now is the time for you to join From Side Hustle to CEO. If you have questions about the problem you want to solve, whether you want to be a coach or if you want to start a midterm rental business, we can do that together. Like I said, inside this call that we're going to have. So if you when you click that link, you should see multiple times that are available to you. But if you don't see a time that is available to you over the weekend, please just send me an email at hi@KimberlyBrownMD.com. We will make a time work for the both of us. I want to make sure that you leave 2024 with a solid plan to make money without having to see patients. We are all burnt out from our clinical work. We all are feeling a certain type of way about the new administration that is coming in. And at the same time, we need to have options and create opportunities for ourselves. No one is coming to save us but ourselves. So the fastest way for us to take control of our life, but take control of our money, to take control of our family, our future, our legacy, is to go ahead and start making money outside of our clinical practice, and I can definitely help you help you with that and From Side Hustler to CEO. So please don't hesitate to just book a call with me. I don't bite. I promise you, I'm very nice, and I want to make sure that I am able to help you get where you want to go. In life. I don't want you to be stuck. I don't want you to continue to be in a cycle of burnout or just feeling like you don't know what to do. I want to be able to serve you in a very deep and a powerful way. So again, please go ahead, click the link that Cynthia has dropped in the chat. I really appreciate you sending my email is there too. So please, if you do want to book a call with me, go ahead and do that. So without further ado, we've been on for a little bit, but I'm going to sign off for tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for joining me. And if you have any other questions, like I said, send me an email, or more specifically, I'd love to see your face on my Zoom meetings in sometime over the next couple of days. So please go ahead and book your call. But enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night, and we will talk very soon. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Docs Get Money podcast. New episodes drop every Thursday wherever you find your favorite podcast. Share, comment, follow, and subscribe to the Docs Get Money podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want to know more, visit me, Dr. Kimberly Brown, at KimberlyBrownMD.com, and be sure to follow me at Dr. Kimberly B on Instagram. And until next time, let's go get this money, honey.